Let's say before now, you never had targets. Have a target and say, oh, I want to sell 20 pieces of this item this month. You will not sleep. Your brain will wake you up at night. You sent your brain on an assignment. Now, nobody is born dull. So your brain will find the answer for you, and it will not let you rest until the answer comes.
Awesome.
So when you set a target in your business, it's the same thing. You will not sleep.
Yeah. Session without talking about how to make the real money, right? Because wherever sales guru is and his coach, you know what that means. Money is about to flow. You want to make some money? All right, coach. Nice to have you here. Welcome once again.
Good to be here. Thank you.
All right, so we don't have much time. I'll just go to the most important part of this conversation. So first of all, I know you have traveled wide and far. You've consulted you've worked for most big organizations, right? Both in Nigeria, you've consulted across Africa. As of 2010, before then, you were already going on the vacation. We know that, right? But what do you have to say to someone who doesn't have all these experiences and exposure, yet the person wants to start something, especially in the knowledge industry, which is where you are very, very versatile? What do you have to say to that person? What advices can you give to that person?
Okay. So there are different forms of exchange, right? If you don't have money, you must have time. So if you cannot pay in cash, you pay in time. So how, for instance, when I started in the knowledge industry, that was 2017, I knew nobody. I was a 9-to-5 chick, just doing my job, right? So I looked for people in the knowledge space, and I found a young man called Steve Harris. So I had cash. I paid for his course. I was paying to gain access, right? So when the course was done, I wrote him like a 10-paragraph review. Nobody else would do that, so he will notice me.
Wow.
So if you don't have money, you must have notice me strategy.
Wow.
So I wrote paragraph upon paragraph like this. Me, I can write. So that caught his attention. He replied me, I've achieved my objective number one. Then I sat down and I said, how else will I enter this circle? And then I had learned Instagram. Naija Branchik was my friend then, so she had taught me, and me, I had added more jar. So I sat down and did a page audit for his Instagram page. The audit was 7 pages long.
Wow.
On Microsoft Word, I plotted charts and graph and explained what he needed to do to increase his engagement. Will he be my friend or not? He got to a point, before he posted, he would call me, hey, Tricia, so should I post this? That's where I wanted him to be. So you need to get to a point where if you don't have cash, you have to find another means of exchange. And mostly it is time. Serving or servicing or providing solutions for that person or people that you want to enter into the circle.
Wow, fantastic. If you don't have money, you must have time.
Yes.
All right, so let me ask the next question. I know it's easier to make sales than to make customers. What I mean is, I followed you for a long while. I know there are a lot of people who can take a bullet for you, literally. How do you do that? How do you build such customer loyalty?
I think the main thing is I make all my customers owe me. That's my strategy. How? So if you pay me, any amount you pay me for my class, when you enter the class, by the time you are done, you will tell yourself that I did not pay Tricia enough. Yeah. That's where I want you to be. So you then feel guilty for paying whatever it is I charged you. Sometimes I do elaborate 5-day free programs. And everybody there at the end of the day, they're like, I owe Tricia. So that when I need them to take a bullet for me, they pull out of that I owe you card and they take the bullets. So I literally have people in my courses that say, when they're asking, will I make money in this Tricia's class? And it's other students that are telling you, if you don't make money, I will refund you myself. Yeah. Because I ensure that everybody owes me. Yeah. You have to owe me. Yeah. Always. So it basically means give more value than what you were paid for. I always give more and go the extra mile. If I tell you I'll teach you 5, if you enter, you'll see 7. Sometimes you see 10.
You know I'm a product, so I don't want to be talking like a customer, though. All right, so let's look at this one aspect of it. I hope you are getting something from this session, right? Always give more value than you are even paid, right? All right, so a lot of people see you as that person who has always succeeded. I think you mentioned it even in your first panel. I follow you a lot, so you launch one course today, tomorrow is sold out, or next tomorrow is sold out. In fact, sometimes in 3 months, you have more than 2 courses coming out, and it's selling out. In business, have you really ever felt a downtime, a time where you set that goal and it didn't come to pass? How did you overcome that?
Okay, so I think I can't remember the year. I sold a webinar. It was then the title was brand positioning and something. And by day 3, maybe only 5 people had paid, which is abnormal. Yeah. Abnormal. In the first 3 days, at least 100 people would have paid. So I knew something was wrong. That's the power of data. Do you have data in your business to quickly know that something is not working? So I sat down and I called Nelly. I said, Nelly, this thing is not selling. And Nelly said I should send her the flyer. So I sent her the flyer. She looked at it and said, Tricia, even me, that I'm a teacher, I don't know this title that you wrote. The English is too big for us. So she's like, break it down so that we know, because they're not buying because they don't know what it is. And when you translate that into a strategy, you want to ask yourself, does your customer understand the language that you're speaking? Many of us speak in jargons. So you assume that, people should understand what you're saying, but we are not experts like you in whatever it is you're selling. So for instance, even as simple as you're selling a dress, you're saying this asymmetrical dress. What's symmetric? What's geometric design? We don't know all that. So speak like you're talking to toddlers and let us understand what you're selling. So I changed the topic like magic. I posted a new flyer and I don't know, but that webinar ended up having almost 400 people.
Wow.
From 5 people, right? So yeah, there are times when sometimes it doesn't work, but I've learned to quickly move, analyze what is not working, and tweak it.
Yeah, evaluate why something is not working.
Yes, but you won't know that if you don't have data. Because I had data, I knew that by now I should have sold 100.
Yeah, so sometimes there are people who probably launch a course and they're not expecting any kind of number. They just want anybody that comes. That's fine.
You cannot operate a business like that. You need to have a target.
Yeah.
You need to always have a target. You know why? Having a target is not necessarily because you want to achieve it. It's about who you become in the process of trying to achieve that target.
Fantastic.
So try it. Just try it. Everybody here, try it. Let's say before now, you never had targets. Have a target and say, I want to sell 20 pieces of this item this month. You will not sleep. Your brain will wake you up at night. So the thing is, our brains are, one of my coaches always says, your brain is like a federal government secretary. Right? That's what you call seke, yeah. When you go to their office, you ask them, let's say you go to your school, I want my file. And they either tell you to wait and come back next week because they have to go somewhere and check for it, right? That's how your brain is. You know, so for instance, has it ever happened to you where you're trying to remember somebody's name? You're like, that's our primary school teacher. Do you remember? Do you remember? And everybody's like, I don't remember. Then in the middle of the night, you remember his name is Mr. Eze. True or false?
Yeah.
What happened? You sent your brain on an assignment. Now nobody is born dull. So your brain will find the answer for you, and it will not let you rest until the answer comes.
Awesome.
So when you set a target in your business, it's the same thing. You will not sleep.
Yeah.
You keep churning ideas, and at the end of the day, even if you don't meet the target, you'll do better than you did without a target.
So true, so true, so true. All right, we don't have much time. Let me ask you this common question, but most of the times confusing. People tend to join marketing and sales to be the same. Is there a difference? Tell us.
Okay, so there's a difference, even though they are relatives, right? They are related. Now, marketing is the art of convincing people to buy what you sell. It is you showcasing what you sell and telling people, this is how fabulous we are, buy from us. Sales is the act of collecting the money from the customer. There are two different things, and they need different sets of skills. For marketing, you need to be able to tell the story of what it is you want us to buy. You need to be able to convince me that whatever you sell is the best, and if I don't buy it, I will be the one at a loss. When it comes to sales, you need to be able to collect my money. And if I am not paying, you need to find out what are the objections that is stopping me from buying from you. And you close those objections and collect your money. So a sale does not happen until money or value has exchanged. But marketing will happen if people say, oh, I know that brand now. I saw their ad, even though you did not buy. That's the difference.
So marketing is that activity that actually leads to sales.
Yes, it's the beginning of the sales cycle.
All right, in just less than 2 minutes, let's talk about your recent project, Zeba.
Okay.
Should I say multi-million or a billion naira? I don't know. You'll be the one to best tell us. How were you able to dream that, and how did you achieve such a huge project?
You can answer it in 2 minutes. So for people who do not know, I have a beach resort called Zeba Beach Resort. It's the first over-water beach resort in Nigeria.
Come on.
And we launched 6 weeks ago. Yeah, I'm very excited. How did I dream it? I follow the principle of if you want it badly, it will come. So anybody who knows me and who has known me for many years, they tell you that Tricia has always said she will own a beach resort, right? So the first step for me was internalizing it and believing that it's not only people who are born wealthy or have associations that can own a mighty project like that. I can own it. So I'd internalized this for years. The next step was I found a mentor who understood construction. When I was looking for the mentor, it was not for Zeba, but it just happened. So finding people who have gone the road before you to guide you on the road, right? He's one of the most brilliant real estate developers in Nigeria, Dr. Kennedy Okonkwo. And when I sat with him, he's like, this is easy. We'll do it. Point number 3, ignorance is good for your ideas. Ignorance is a good thing. You know, they say, oh no, ignorance is not. It is, because I always say that he lied to me. He told me, with this amount, we'll run it. It was a lie. It's a lie. We ended up doing times 4 of the amount he told me, right? So I went in blind that, this amount can help me achieve it. And there's one powerful thing that somebody always tells me. It's like, God will always send you help. You just need to be standing at the table ready to receive the help.
Okay.
So many times we're praying for help and we want help, but you're on your bed. So I already started buying the land. When I sell my course to you, when you give me money, I pay. So I first bought 2 plots, then I bought 1, then I bought 1, then I kept going. I never waited to have all the money. So that when I was ready to start building, I had land. It was then money to build.
Awesome.
So I'm like, I'm going to ask people to give me money. I had some money. I'm going to ask people to give me money. So I did presentation. I flew to Abuja to go and present to one of the rich people I know. By the time I finished, she said, oh, there's nothing new you're telling me. I can't invest. Ha.
My God.
Hi. I packed my load. I went back to Lagos. You need to also get to a point where you eat no for breakfast.
Yeah.
Yes. You eat it and move on. Has no ever killed anybody?
Not at all.
Have you ever seen a grave, a tombstone that they wrote, she died because they said no?
Not at all.
No. So I dusted it. I spoke to somebody else in real estate. He gave me another model. And I went back. Guess what? Do not despise your friends and people on your level. You know, I was pitching to people above me, people that had lots of money. Guess who my first investor was? One of my students.
Wow.
Yes. So many times we want to network up. You want to look for people up. Time up. We're almost up. Thank you. There are people on your level or even beneath your level who have the key that you're looking for. So yes, I got investments. Money finished halfway. End of the story, we finished.
Wow, fantastic.
Right? I can be on that story for an hour,
I know.
but Zeba is a story of persistence.
Yeah.
It's a story of grit. It's a story of if you want it badly,
You will get it.
you will get it. There was a point that there was no money. And I sat down that day, I was crying at home. I said, who sent me? My mates were doing 4 rooms. I went to build 17 rooms. And my husband went for a training. He's also a trainer. And he was just speaking to somebody there. It's one of the big 5 companies in Nigeria. And I know her. And he told her, your friend is not okay. She's like, waiting to Tricia. I said, Tricia, no money. She asked him, she said, how much is making her cry? And he said, she needs 120 million to move the project. He said, now 120 million, they make Tricia cry. I'll facilitate it for her. In 3 days, she took a loan from her company for me.
Wow. Fantastic.
And I got the money in my account.
Wow.
And if I never believed anything, I believe the fact that God will meet you at that point if you are standing there. So never wait to get the full picture. The full money may never come. But when you take one step and put one foot in front of the other, help will come. Help will always come. You need to believe that you are a person worthy of being helped. And help will come. Thank you very much. My time is up.
If you're not getting anything from this session, you have to